Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. The first two games are in Boston. The Celtics are 6-point favorites in game one. They haven't played in 9 days. 5:30 tip-off on ABC. The Angels pulled off their first series sweep of the season. They won all 3 games against San Diego. Congrats to Angels manager Ron Washington. The Dodgers lost again at Pittsburgh. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 10 runs. The LA Sparks are now 2-7 in the WNBA after losing at home by 24 to the Minnesota Lynx. Troubling moment for the Chicago Sky when they arrived at their team hotel Wednesday in Washington, D.C. When the players got off the bus, a man approached Sky forward Kennedy Carter and shouted racist remarks at her. The man expressed anger at Carter for committing a flagrant foul Saturday on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
When I move my body, I feel like freedom. Happy anniversary, KBLA.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
And they wondered if a black talk radio station would work in Southern California.
Y'all did it!
Well, KBLA Talk 1580 toasts its 3rd anniversary on Juneteenth, and you're invited to celebrate with us.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
All you have to do is go to KBLA1580.com right now and sign up. Admission is free, but mandatory, and space is limited. Once we reach capacity, we'll have to cut off the online registration, but it's open right now.
Oh, my God.
So don't delay.
Thank you guys for being the best at what you do.
Log on to KBLATalk1580.com right now and register to join us for an afternoon of good music, good people, and good vibes.
Happy anniversary.
Wednesday, June 19th, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will provide the food and drink, but be sure to bring your low-back chairs, blankets, and your personal picnic baskets.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's celebrate 3 years of being the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of news and information.
We love you, KBLA.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're black and stride again.
Black and stride again.
Happy anniversary.
So I'm in the studio. I'm laughing here because my guest in this hour, who I will formally introduce in a moment, is Ray Suarez. Let that ride, Miles. I was just saying to our last guest that Prince didn't want to be boxed in. And he had fans of every race, color, creed, ethnicity all around the world. I was telling the story of being in Montreux with him at the Montreux Jazz Festival and just watching people from everywhere come around the world to see Prince. So Ray Suarez walks in here. I've known Ray Suarez for years. He is a button-down journalist. You know him from PBS fame for years, so in Al Jazeera. But Ray Suarez walks in here and sits down, and Miles plays this track, and Ray says, I love this song. I love this song. And he starts singing all the lyrics, Miles. And not only the lyrics, then he starts doing all the I would die for you, the hand signs. I'm like, not Ray Suarez. Not Ray Suarez. Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up for Ray. Did that for Ray Suarez. This is June, which is Black Music Month. And every day in the month of June, we are choosing a particular artist. We call it an artist in residence. And we play their music all 3 hours of our program as we weave between these brilliant conversations with these great guests like Ray Suarez. And so Prince is our featured artist today because tomorrow is June 7th, Prince's natal day. We celebrate the birth of Prince. Tomorrow, Prince Rogers Nelson. And so today, all 3 hours, we have been playing Prince music. And just in our last hour, I had a great conversation with an author, Dr. Nama, about his book about Prince. Just a great day to celebrate my friend and brother Prince, who I miss dearly. But speaking of friends and brothers, I'm honored to have Ray Suarez in studio in this hour. His new book is called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. We will get straight away into the text with Ray Suarez after you hear what President Biden had to say earlier this week about immigration.
I've come here today to do what the Republicans in Congress refuse to do. Take the necessary steps to secure our border. 4 months ago, after weeks of intense negotiation between my staff and Democrats and Republicans, we came to a clear bipartisan deal. It was the strongest border security agreement in decades. But then, Republicans in Congress, not all, but walked away from it. Why? Because Donald Trump told them to. He told the Republicans, it has been published widely by many of you, that he didn't want to fix the issue, he wanted to use it to attack me. That's what he wanted to do. It was a cynical and an extremely cynical political move, and a complete disservice to the American people who are looking for us to not to weaponize the border, but to fix it. Today, I'm joined by a bipartisan group of governors, members of Congress, mayors, law enforcement officials, most of whom live and work along the southern border. They know the border is not a political issue to be weaponized. The responsibility we have to share, to do something about it. They don't have time for the games played in Washington, and neither do the American people. So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border. Frankly, I would have preferred to address this issue through bipartisan legislation, because that's the only way to actually get the kind of system we have now that's broken, fixed, to hire more Border Patrol agents, more asylum officers, more judges. But Republicans have left me no choice. Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants.
There are a lot of folk, Ray Suarez, who are disappointed in Joe Biden. Let me just call a spade a spade. We'll get into your book, We Are Home, as we move forward. Let me set this up, and when we come forward, we'll let you have the rest of the hour to make your case about the politics of the moment around immigration and about your book, again, called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. But there you hear the voice of Joe Biden, President Biden earlier this week, talking about immigration. And both parties, both candidates, Trump and Biden, have been speaking out a lot lately about the issue of immigration. You heard President Biden basically saying there, I'm closing the southern border. Closing the southern border, that is, to asylum seekers. Donald Trump has said that if he's elected, he's going to start deporting people immediately by the millions if he can get away with it. So Trump wants to deport them. Biden has now closed the border. There are those disappointed in the president because they didn't really want him to move in this direction. You heard his analysis, his explanation for why he felt forced or compelled to do this. We'll hear what Ray Suarez has to say about that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
It does indeed, but this first, not feeling yourself lately? Have your weight loss dreams turned into weight gain nightmares? Have you been chasing 20 pounds for 20 years? Well, if so, it's time for D-Herbs. D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse is a natural cleansing regimen that can help you lose 20 pounds in just 20 days. The Full Body Cleanse will also boost your immune system and, get this, improve your digestion. With summer just around the corner, now's the time to finally stop chasing those 20 pounds and prepare yourself into a healthier lifestyle to reboot your system and lose weight right now. Go to dherbs.com right now and order your Full Body Cleanse or call 866-434-3727. If you mention Tavis at checkout, you get a discount on your order. dherbs.com. Experience healing.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Go, Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Medicare Fraud Prevention Week focuses on the actions everyone can take to prevent Medicare fraud, errors, and abuse. Learn how to protect yourself and your loved ones by joining the Senior Medicare Patrol, or SMP, for Medicare Fraud Prevention Week, June 3rd through the 9th. Learn more at snpresource.org or by calling 1-877-808-2468.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Let's get back to more of Tavis Smiley right now.
I'm a lyricist, and I told Prince many times that of all the songs that he wrote, the lyrics on this one are as cold as they come. If God one day struck me blind, your beauty I'd still see. Love is just too weak a term to define what you mean to me. Lord Jesus. That's a cold lyric. That's a cold lyric. And for my money, Adore is his greatest ballad. That's just me. We're all Prince fans. We all have our choices. But the lyric on that track is amazing, and so I love that song, Adore. Nobody adoring Joe Biden right about now. Nobody adoring Donald Trump right about now when it comes to the issue of immigration. Moments ago, in case you've just tuned in, I played some sound from President Biden earlier this week on his decision to close our southern border. And Donald Trump, of course, has said repeatedly if he is reelected, he's going to start deporting folk immediately, and a lot of them. Our guest in this hour is Ray Suarez. His new book is called We Are Home. Legendary journalist, legendary broadcaster. Out with the new book, We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. Before I get into the book, Ray, first of all, it's good to see you. It's been too long. How are you, my friend?
I am great, Tavis. Especially happy to be here with you today. You know, when you're selling a book, when you're touring, when you're talking about what you've written about, you have the opportunity to do a lot of remote these days. Everybody wants to do remote, but it's really nice to be in a radio studio face-to-face with a host.
And I'm delighted to have you in here face-to-face with me. Before I get into the book, your thoughts broadly, I don't need to color it any more than I already have. Trump has his way of approaching immigration. Biden has his new way. Some would say borrowing from the Trump playbook. You tell me, of dealing with immigration. How are you reading this political moment vis-a-vis the issue of immigration?
Well, Biden obviously felt he had to do something. You heard in his remarks when he was talking about how we shouldn't weaponize the border. Too late, Mr. President. It's already been weaponized. This issue has been weaponized. Yes, it's true. You worked out a compromise. Your party on the Hill worked out a compromise with the Republicans that Donald Trump threw the monkey wrench into the gears just before it was set to go to a vote. That's true, but so what? It is already doing damage to his reelection prospects because Republicans have aggressively demagogued this issue. But I will say, as I watch Donald Trump's rallies very closely, and when he talks about mass deportations, he doesn't get boos, he doesn't get silence, he gets enormous cheers from the audiences at his rallies, which is revealing, a little sad. I think you may cheer in that rally in the abstract, but you wait till you turn on your late local news day after day and you see vans with armed men in uniform getting out and dragging people out of their houses, and kids standing on the front lawn or on the curb screaming and crying as they're watching their parents being dragged away. It's not going to be a good look for America. It's not going to be what you want, and it's going to be a disgrace and a shame, a moment of shame for this country if that kind of thing were ever unleashed on the streets of this country.
Clearly what President Biden did this week, Ray, was, how might I put this, politically expedient. One could debate the merits of that or not, but it was politically expedient. To your mind, and this might be a tough question to ask one of your heritage, but did the president, given what he's up against, have any other choice? You mentioned earlier he felt he had to do something. That's what you said about how he felt. He felt he had to do something. But politically, given the moment he's in, did he have any choice?
No, I don't think really he had any choice but to respond. You can't go the next 150 days with night after night people thronging the border. The number of people is down. The number of people trying to cross is down. We don't have an open border. That is a lie that has become a universal phrase used in our politics. You don't spend multiple tens of billions of dollars year after year after year putting in motion sensing detectors, night cameras, and thousands of armed officers on the border. You don't increase the number of those officers. You don't patrol the border more fiercely than you have in decades, and then say we have an open border. We do have a system. It's overtaxed. It's slow. It's cumbersome. It's expensive. It's a burden on the people who are trying to gain entry into the country, and it is an inadequate response to a crisis that's unfolding around the world. The United States couldn't stay sort of serenely detached from the fact that hundreds of millions of people are on the move around the world, trying to move out of crisis situations, trying to move off of farms where there's no longer any rain and they can't support their families, trying to move out of countries where their ethnic group or linguistic group or religious group is under fire from their own government. This idea that this is something that just Jordanians we're going to have to worry about, and just Lebanese we're going to have to worry about, and just Greeks, and just Turks, and just Italians, and just Germans, as millions of people pour out of the borders of their country, and we, in our neighborhood, would just say, well, yeah, maybe we're a beacon, maybe we're the richest country in the world, but somehow we're just going to tap out. We're not interested in that. That was a fantasy. It was always a fantasy, and we didn't have an answer for when that problem came for us.
Speaking of an answer, I wonder whether or not in the near term, or for that matter, Ray, in the not so near term, the far term, do you see politically the hope of any on-ramp to meaningful immigration reform?
It is a difficult issue. So Congress keeps kicking the can down the road. But part of what makes it difficult, Tavis, is that they have put too much weight in the wheelbarrow. The 13, 15 million people who are already here, living here long term without papers, the undocumented, they are one issue. The rules that have to apply when you show up at the border tomorrow are a different issue. And people who are already in the system trying to stay are a third issue. But what we do is we artificially combine these things and say, well, we can't take care of any of it until we can take care of all of it, which is nonsense. These should have been separated out. The 750,000 DACA kids are still another issue, different and distinct from the people who are showing up at the border. Republicans have very, very cagily conflated these issues, turned them into one big issue when they're not, and how the machinery of government has to respond. The practical, what do you do, day after day after day, is a totally separate issue from what you do about a business owner or a homeowner or a public school parent who's been here for 12 or 14 or 17 years. The average undocumented person in the country has been here for more than 10 years. And to say that they are part of the same issue as someone who's showing up in Tijuana this morning is ridiculous.
I wonder if the Latino, Hispanic, Chicano community, Latinx, you tell me, I wonder if that broad community feels alone in this fight. And here's what I mean by that. We are so often, as you know, siloed in our politics. But I think of just a year or so ago when black people, when we all saw the video of those officers on horseback. You know where I'm going, right? Those officers on horseback essentially beating back those Haitians. And we all know the Haitian, the policy we have toward Haiti, off the shore of Florida. Joe Biden has closed our southern border to asylum seekers. But we know the story all too well of the way we maltreat those persons from Haiti. And if anybody from any country is fleeing political persecution and ought to be allowed an opportunity for asylum, it is certainly those persons fleeing Haiti, particularly right about now. And yet we put them on boats if they get here, and we send them back as well. So it seems to me, you see where I'm going here, that black people, and for that matter, other folk in this country, should be just as concerned about immigration in their own frame. And yet I sense that you guys are out here fighting this by yourself. Your response?
And, you know, there is not a one-size-fits-all response either. I mean, right here in Los Angeles, where you and I are sitting, we could get in a cab and in a few minutes be in a neighborhood where almost everybody was born somewhere else on the planet, and then drive another 5 or 10 minutes, and people have been here for 6 or 7 generations, and their feelings about this issue are actually different. You talk to a Mr. Martinez, whose family just got across the border, and Mr. Martinez, whose family has been here since 1910, and they have a different take on immigration, how to respond, what to do, who carries the burden, whose burden is it. But Tavis, you are so right that this is now a black issue. In the 2020 census, it emerged that 1 out of every 10 black people living in America is an immigrant. And you know, when we think about the 19th century, when black people in the United States all came as property, not as immigrants, not people looking for a better life, not people who chose to come to this country and roll the dice and take their chances, but people who were and their forebears were property. That is a disgraceful part of our history, a shame in our history, but one that we spent the next century plus overcoming. The fact that a little boy or a little girl in Nigeria or Senegal or Kingston, Jamaica or Antigua can say, you know, I'd like to try to go to college in the United States. I interviewed for the book put it to some people who I interviewed for the book, didn't that put you off? Those pictures of fire hoses, those pictures of German shepherds, those pictures of people having food dumped on them at lunch counters. And Jibril, who lives in Harlem from Senegal, he said to me, look, I know those things happened. And you ask any African, and we know that it can be tough for black people in America, but also there's more opportunity at the same time. And I thought, oh, what a fabulous moment. What a fabulous moment. I interviewed one oncologist from Chicago who came from Nigeria as an already educated doctor, hoping to get some more training and then go back to help her people in Nigeria. And she talked about what a beacon the United States was in Africa. And I think, oh, what a redemptive moment that black people elsewhere in the world see the United States as a beacon instead of as a place where black people go and are abused and mistreated systematically. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, both are true.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We always have the job before us, but at the same time, for a Liberian, for a Nigerian to say, I think I have a great shot at doing something great in America is a terrific thing.
I've got 2 minutes here now. We'll continue, of course, for the rest of the hour when we come forward. I'm working my way, as you are now, into your text. It's called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. Ray has just told you now. Give you some sense of the frame of the book. He talks to a variety of people and shares their stories in this book. But I was struck, and I want to start our conversation, if I can, regarding the text, with the title. This title is a double entendre, to be sure, maybe a triple or quadruple entendre. But I love the title, We Are Home. And depending on what word you pick, one can come away with a different interpretation of what the book is. So the title, We Are Home, in 90 seconds, unpack that for me, and we'll continue when we come forward.
Well, who's in the we is an interesting question. It's people from everywhere now. It used to be just people from Europe because America's legal framework for immigration was so heavily skewed toward Europe. But now the we includes people from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Our is a response to anybody who says to an immigrant, go home, go where you come from, go back to where you come from. They say, we are home. And home is there because I think it's one of the most evocative words in the English language. And what people mean when they say it, it's not necessarily the place they were born, it's not necessarily the place they grew up, but it is the place that is the home of their heart and their head now. And I think all three of those words are really important, powerful words.
And that's when you know and how you know you have a great book title. And beyond the title, it's a great book, so we'll get into the book when we come forward. It's called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. Its author is the legendary broadcaster Ray Suarez, who I'm honored to have right now on Tavis Smiley.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
We'd like to thank you for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Today marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. In a speech commemorating when U.S. and Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, President Biden spoke to a global audience and gave praise to the soldiers who lost their lives in the invasion. He also praised the European alliance that was formed after the war that would become NATO and warned against isolationism. Muhammad Ali's childhood home is on the market. Christie's International Real Estate announced Tuesday that the African-American boxing legend's boyhood home in Louisville, Kentucky is now for sale. Ali, who was then known as Cassius Clay, lived in the small house from ages 4 to 18 when he won a gold medal for boxing at the 1960 Summer Olympics. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight. The Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. The first 2 games are in Boston. The Celtics are 6-point favorites in Game 1. They haven't played in 9 days. 5:30 tip-off on ABC. The Angels pulled off their first series sweep of the season. They won all 3 games against San Diego. Congrats to Angels manager Ron Washington. The Dodgers lost again in Pittsburgh. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 10 runs. The LA Sparks are now 2-7 in the WNBA after losing at home by 24 to the Minnesota Lynx. Troubling moment for the Chicago Sky when they arrived at their team hotel Wednesday in Washington, D.C. When the players got off the bus, a man approached Sky forward Kennedy Carter and shouted racist remarks at her. The man expressed anger at Carter for committing a flagrant foul Saturday on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
He's rooting for everybody black.
Everybody black.
More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
Shut up already. Damn.
Tell me who in this house know about the quake? I mean, really? Really? If you know how to rock, say yeah. Yeah. If you know how to party, say oh yeah. Oh yeah. But if you ain't hip to the rare house quake, shut up already. Damn. House quake. Everybody jump up and down. House quake. Oh, there's a brand new groove going round.
Well, I don't want Ray Suarez to shut up already. We still got another few minutes to go between now and the top of the hour, so I don't want you to shut up already just yet, Ray Suarez, even as we continue to celebrate June as Black Music Month. Every day a featured artist of the day. We play their music all 3 hours. Today that artist is Prince, and tomorrow Prince fans will celebrate his born day. Prince born on June 7th, and so it's fitting that his birthday would be in the middle of June, Black Music Month, and so we have been playing some of the best of Prince all 3 hours of today's program. I'm a fan, and Ray Suarez is a fan, and so are you. So I hope you've enjoyed or are enjoying us weaving in as much Prince as we can in today's show. Our guest is legendary broadcaster Ray Suarez. His book is called We Are Home: Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. I'm making my way right inside the book now that we've unpacked that title, which I love so much. We Are Home. Unpack it any way you want to unpack it, but we are home. I love all three words. From one listener, Ray Suarez, the following: the greatest embarrassment of this country is slavery. Why are we importing poverty, more poverty, when we already have people living here below the poverty line?
We may perceive it as importing poverty, but we're also importing future wealth, future productivity, future innovation, future hard work, more shoulders joining us, pushing on the great big clanking machinery of America. You know, we are going to have labor shortages. If we were to seal the border now, we would have labor shortages in the coming years because, like families, like women in many places in the world, American women are having many fewer children than they did. We are now below replacement level. And if our population were to shrink in the coming years, which is a distinct possibility if we restricted immigration, we would have fewer people to help society support the two oldest generations in our country right now. You know, right now we are on the verge of 2 workers for every retiree on Social Security. And if you want a future with poorer senior citizens, we can talk about that. I don't think anybody's setting that out as a goal for our society. You know, they have versions of this same problem in other places in the world. In Korea, the population is going to crater. In China, they are going to lose 300 to 400 million population by mid-century. That's one whole United States and a France thrown in for good measure. So if you want to roll the dice on that, fewer people to join the armed services, fewer people to come to work in our factories, fewer people to enroll in the schools that we've built around the country, you know, say that. But I don't think a lot of Americans are interested in trying that social experiment.
When do you think the political power, the political heft of this community will catch up with its presence in terms of numbers?
As we inch closer to 2050. 2010 was the first year where a majority of the children born in the United States traced their ancestry to Africa, Asia, and Latin America. And, of course, it's been every year since, so those kids are going to start high school in September. And they'll be heading to recruitment offices 4 years later, and college admissions, and heading into our workplaces in the years after that. And we will have a non-white or non-European majority workforce in the years subsequent to that. And the voting heft will follow that economic heft and join it side by side. Americans are still getting used to the idea that this is a diverse multicultural, polyglot, multi-hued society. We should have been used to it a long time ago, frankly. But look, we'll get the hang of it eventually. This is not going to be a different country. We're still going to like the stuff we like. We're still going to do the stuff we do. We're still going to be identifiably us, just a little different, just as we've always been. It's a very old American story.
Let me ask you a point-blank question. Whether or not, after all your years of covering these stories and writing about these issues, Ray, and I confess up front, this is something that I wrestle with all the time. But this is your conversation, not mine. Do you believe that multiracial democracy is possible?
Yes, but as Charlottesville reminded us, there are many Americans who are willing to try almost anything else until they try that. Like, you're going to say, well, maybe not, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that, until we no longer have any choice and we get with it. Because this is, in many ways, the most amazing country on the face of the earth. And instead of embracing that and living our way into it, we have created this amazing culture where, Luis Fonsi and Justin Bieber are singing Despacito, and it's coming out of radios in Amsterdam and Cairo and Beijing and Shanghai and Jakarta. Our power as a culture is understood everywhere in the world except sometimes in the United States itself.
That's a powerful point on which to marinate, and I will beyond this conversation. The book is called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century. The author of that book is our guest in this hour, legendary veteran broadcaster Ray Suarez. What does it mean to become American right now? What does it mean to become American in the 21st century, Ray Suarez?
One funny part of the stories people told me about coming here to live from other places in the world is that they thought they knew America. When they got on the plane, when they got on the boat, when they got here one way or the other, they thought, because our culture is so pervasive, oh, I understand America. And then they find out, no, it's a complicated place, and people are going to look at me differently, and you have to work. Oh, my God, so hard. So many people came back to that. One thing I would tell people from my country who want to come here, you have to work so hard. One kid who came to the country from Kenya, he was an Arab Kenyan from Mombasa. As a teenager, he was working the breakfast window at McDonald's, and he'd open up the drive-through window at 5:30 in the morning and see a line of cars, and he'd say, where the hell are these Americans going at 5:30 in the morning? He says he got used to it eventually. He worked a deli counter at a Wawa and said, why are there so many cheeses? Who wants to eat 50 different kinds of cheeses? He's so funny. And he was immersed up to his eyeballs in American pop culture, the music, the movies, the television shows that were part of his everyday life in Mombasa, Kenya. And then he said he really didn't understand America until he was in the Army.
Hold that thought. I got a bunch of questions about that. I think I know where I'm headed. But that's a powerful statement that deserves some interrogation, that he really didn't understand America until he was in the Army. What did Ray Suarez mean by that, I wonder? We'll find out when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
More honesty than you can handle.
More empowerment than you can imagine.
You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Ray Suarez, author of the new book, We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. Legendary broadcaster who I'm honored to have in studio with us in this hour of today's program. You were saying a moment ago, Ray Suarez, that one of your subjects said he didn't really understand America until he was in the Army. What, pray tell, did you mean, or did he mean by that?
Well, just a few months after he had moved to the United States, he decided to sign up. And he was sent to basic training in the South. He said it was hot as hell, but what was fascinating was that his fellow grunts from all around the country were just like him in a way. None of them were from Mombasa, Kenya, but they were all poor kids looking for a way up and a way out. And even though they had very little in common, they were all about a common purpose, being in the Army. And they were trying to get ahead in their lives. And he used the Army, used his time in the Army, to really put a rudder on his American boat. It helped him buy his first house. It helped him get his first jobs. And now he's a middle-aged dad of 3 boys living in the suburbs outside Washington, D.C. And he says, look, when I look at my life, you probably could have dropped me anywhere in the world and I would have been okay. But nowhere else in the world is my story possible the way that it's played out. The time that he said he felt the most American was when Donald Trump put in the Muslim ban, and he grabbed his sons, they made signs, and they ran down to the airport to join this large and growing demonstration against the new restrictions on people from Muslim-majority countries. And he saw that a lot of the people there were not Muslims. And it lit him up, the idea that his fellow citizens would care so much about this kind of issue that they would join him on the protest line, screaming that the law had to be changed.
I could have commenced our conversation with this. I'm sure the audience might be as curious as I am. How did you go about finding these fascinating subjects to speak to?
Great question. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
I just started telling people what I was doing, what I was working on, and everybody I interviewed. I said, do you know anybody else? And one person put me on to another person who put me on to another person. Then you meet someone and you find out just in the course of conversation that they're from El Salvador, and you say, hey, would you give me an hour of your time? Would you give me 45 minutes of your time? And people were surprisingly glad to tell me their life stories, but also willing to share the not so proud parts of it, the parts that maybe they don't like to talk about that much. They were very frank, they were very open, and I'm tremendously grateful to them.
When we come forward in our remaining moments with Ray Suarez, I want to come to the point he made a moment ago about this particular subject in the book, who didn't understand America until he joined the Army. I'm bringing this thing full circle. I think you'll see where I'm going here. There's so many persons who've come to this country who then go on to join our armed forces. And I've never quite understood that. You got a whole lot of love for America to fight to get here and then to enlist in service to a country wherein you could die defending this country. There are folk born and raised here who don't want to join the armed forces. And yet I'm always struck by those who come here, fight to get here, and then love this nation so much that they're willing to, again, enlist and put their own lives on the line defending the rights and freedoms, those we have left at least. I digress on that point for now. Our remaining moments with Ray Suarez when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. This is the Tavis Smiley Show.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA member FDIC.
helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Ray Suarez, the author of the book We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. I've got 4 minutes left. Let me weave two things together and yield to the gentleman from the East Coast to finish this conversation with his own answers. So, one, I am curious as to what you've learned about why these people fight to come here to the home of the free, the land of the free and the home of the brave, this beacon of light and hope around the world. They fight to get here. And somewhere along the way, they fall in love with America so much that they're willing to enlist themselves to fight and defend whatever freedoms, again, we have left. That's the first part. But the second part of this strikes me as an interesting irony, Ray, which is that you get here, you come here for all these opportunities, and then you get here and you realize that the opportunities aren't that pervasive, and you realize that what I can do is to enlist, and they'll take care of me. That's a fascinating irony about America as we know it. Your final thoughts?
You know, America doesn't realize how lucky it is that even in the 21st century, people look from around the world. They see it warts and all. People realize the contradictions, the way we don't always live up to our ideals, our national ideals. They know it. But they think we come a hell of a lot closer than a lot of other places on the planet. And we have some collateral in the bank as Americans with the rest of the world that sometimes we don't even fully realize. That people love this country from afar, that people look at all the difficulties and say, there's a chance that I could still succeed there. They hear from their cousin. They hear from their aunt. They hear from their uncle. They hear from a guy they went to school with or a gal they went to school with, and they think, yeah, I got a shot. We have that on deposit in a way that a lot of other places on the planet only wish they had, and a lot of other places on the planet have decided they're going to do without. You know, China doesn't take immigrants. Japan doesn't take immigrants. We do, and that's one of our strengths, and it's one of our tremendous assets as a country that right now we're having this family fight over. We don't realize what an asset it is.
His name is Ray Suarez. He is, as I've said a few times, a veteran journalist, but not just veteran. Veteran just means you've been doing it for a long time. And a lot of folk doing it for a long time, but never having quite done it so well. Ray Suarez is not in that category. He is one of the best journalists I've ever met, and I'm always honored to be in dialogue with him. He's legendary in his work and witness in this country, bringing us the news and helping us to parse it and to better understand it. He's also a best-selling author, and he has a new one out, and I've been honored to have had him on this program for the hour to talk about his latest text. It's called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History, and he gave you some sense of the kinds of persons, the subjects he talked to for the book. I think you'll find it fascinating. I highly recommend it. Once again, it's called We Are Home, Becoming American in the 21st Century and Oral History. And you're still doing your podcast and your...
Yes, on Shifting Ground, available wherever you get your podcasts.
I knew you'd take that opportunity to weave that in there. Thank you, Ray Suarez. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow. No, tomorrow is Friday. Am I correct? I said it wrong yesterday. Tomorrow is Friday. I was a day ahead of myself yesterday, which means that tomorrow's the best of Tavis Smiley. Have a hard time this week picking 3 of our best conversations to bring you tomorrow. You might have missed it, so tomorrow be sure to check out the best of Tavis Smiley on these stations all across the nation. Until then, thanks for tuning in. And as always, happy birthday, Prince. Keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Trump's campaign is beginning to vet potential running mates. Reports say the vetting process has focused on 4 possible candidates: Florida Senator Marco Rubio, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who is black, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and North Carolina Governor Doug Burgum. The Trump campaign says, quote, anyone who tells you they know who, how, or when President Trump will choose his VP is lying, end quote. The annual Juneteenth Festival in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles has been canceled. Organizers say it is due to rising costs. The celebration was scheduled to happen on June 19th. That federal holiday honors the same day in 1865 when the U.S. military freed the last group of slaves held in the Confederate state of Texas 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. The event organizers hope to bring it back next year. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight. The Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. The first 2 games are in Boston. The Celtics are 6-point favorites in Game 1. They haven't played in 9 days. 5:30 tip-off on ABC. The Angels pulled off their first series sweep of the season. They won all 3 games against San Diego. Congrats to Angels manager Ron Washington. The Dodgers lost again at Pittsburgh. The Dodgers pitching staff gave up 10 runs. The LA Sparks are now 2-7 in the WNBA after losing at home by 24 to the Minnesota Lynx. Troubling moment for the Chicago Sky when they arrived at their team hotel Wednesday in Washington, D.C. When the players got off the bus, a man approached Sky forward Kennedy Carter and shouted racist remarks at her. The man expressed anger at Carter for committing a flagrant foul Saturday on Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
Welcome forward now. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson, here on KBLA Talk 1580, and we are creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time, and that means you. Hey, now you've heard me say this. An economy without a business cannot thrive, just like a car without an engine cannot drive. So if you want to drive your dreams, if you want to drive your finances, if you want to drive your community, if you want to drive your legacy, then I recommend that you get in business. That's right, get in business. Do it now. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt yourself. Do not believe that it won't be successful. Let me tell you something. Everybody who starts a business has something way back there that says to them that it just might not make it. It's just like a basketball player trying to shoot and hit that winning shot at the last second of the game. They don't necessarily know if they're going to make the, make the shot, but they take it anyway. So I'm asking you to take the shot anyway, and to treat yourself, your life, your business in the same manner, or even more so, even better than someone would treat their most prized possession in the automobile, or I should say in the automobile industry, in the automobile area. So that car, is it the Lexus? Is it the Mercedes? Is it the BMW? What is it that you would like to drive? drive your business in the same way that you believe you would take care of that car. I remember being at an event once, and I was trying to teach about financial principles and about saving, and everybody in the room said, oh, I don't have enough money. My bills are too much. My money is too little. My money is funny and my change is strange. Everybody in the room had excuses about why they could not get to the next level financially. And then I had a member of my team send a text to everyone in the room from a different number. I had that person send a text, and I said, we have a Lexus available for $1,000. The first person to reply will get the Lexus. Do you know everybody in the room found $1,000 for the Lexus? Every single person. Not one person failed to respond to that text message about the $1,000 Lexus. Why? Because they believed that the Lexus would bring them value. They believed that the Lexus would give them some symbol of status. They thought that $1,000 Lexus was a great investment because in their minds, they had already determined that the Lexus was worth way more than the $1,000 that they had to scrape up. Now, mind you, some of them didn't even have the money. Some of them didn't have money to get home, had barely gotten there, and so on and so forth. But they were going to find $1,000, charge it, or whatever to get that Lexus. What I'm saying to you, and of course, I was able to tell them that that was not the truth, that was a test. And every single person in that room was convicted, and they got the message that you have to be just as vigilant about investing in yourself as you would be about investing in something that the world has told you has value. Even the best Lexus is going to decrease in value over time. And what I'm suggesting is that you put your money, you put that $1,000 into something, into your mind, something that can increase in value over time, something that can help you prosper over time, something that will help you grow over time, something that will help you build your legacy and add money to your bank account as opposed to taking it away. Okay, so if you're going to treat this business, your life, like an engine, and I've talked about oiling the engine, I've talked about that. If you're going to treat it this way, then you must understand the personality, okay? I want you to understand the personality of an entrepreneur. I have said often, everybody is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not something or someone that is set aside that you cannot be or emulate, and it's not a status that you cannot attain. I believe everyone is an entrepreneur. Even if you decide, I want to go to school and I want to be a teacher can also be an entrepreneur. Even if you decide, I want to, be a lawyer can also be an entrepreneur. If you decide, I just do hair, someone who does hair can be an entrepreneur. You may have gone to school for engineering or to be a doctor or whatever it is. Guess what? You can also be an entrepreneur. If you are a dentist, you can also be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurialism is something that we can all achieve, and it is simply the ability to continue to create new ideas, products, and services that you can monetize. That is for me, that's essentially the center of entrepreneurialism. It is the ability to create ideas and products and services that you can monetize. That's what it is. So most entrepreneurs that I know are always looking for another way to monetize something. So let's just take some of the people in the hip hop industry. My big brother, Russell Simmons, my good dear friend, he has done everything from, just starting out with records, and then concerts, and then with fashion, and then with financial companies, and so on, and then yoga studios, always finding a way to turn his ideas, products, and services into monetizable assets, meaning you can make money from them. All right? So the very big difference between an entrepreneur and someone who is not is that an entrepreneur is going to make money. Some others have these ideas, but they want to give them away. That's not what we're talking about. Not that giving isn't good. Giving is good. But right now, we are talking about turning your ideas into money. The harvest is here. The time is now. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable with Lynn Richardson when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
It's time to escape it all and make your shower feel as luxurious as a bubble bath. With new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash, the sweet scent of roses and cherries surrounds you, while the thick, creamy lather covers your skin in moisturizing layers of vitamin B3 complex. It'll turn your shower into a spa. The real world will still be out there, so indulge in here just a little while longer. Available in 5 luxurious scents at your local retailer and online.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Hey! Welcome forward now. This is the Millionaires Roundtable here on KBLA Talk 1580, and this is Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time, and that means you. So here's the deal. An economy without a business cannot thrive, just like a car without an engine cannot drive. And in order to take care of that engine, and I've talked about oiling the engine, in order to take care of that engine, you must know what you're taking care of. You must know the anatomy of it. And what I'm going to say, one of the most important things in your business is the personality of the entrepreneur. Okay, so in understanding the anatomy of your business, what are the components? What makes it work? What are the things that make it go? What are the things that wake it up? What are the things that make it move? In your business, you've got to start to think about that business anatomy. And the main component of the anatomy of the business is the individual. One of the main components is the individual who is running it. And the individual who is running that business, some of you don't think you are an entrepreneur because you think that you're not, smart. And that is not necessarily a requirement. You think that you are not creative. Creativity is required, but it doesn't have to be you. You think that you are not gifted. Yes, everybody is gifted at something. But the truth is, many entrepreneurs are those who have ideas. They have a great idea. They may be passionate about it, but they don't understand the personality of an entrepreneur that makes up the anatomy of that business. So I want you to understand this. Now that you know why it makes sense, it makes dollars and cents, okay? It makes dollars and cents, S-E-N-S-E, and it makes dollars and cents, C-E-N-T-S, for you to be in business for yourself. Even if you love your current job. As a matter of fact, I say yes, love your job. Enjoy your job. Get your benefits. Get your 401k. Belong to something bigger than yourself. You don't have to choose. You can do both with excellence. You can do both with excellence. In my book, The Symphony, A Guide to Creating and Balancing Multiple Streams of Income, one of my contributors, Ingrid Woolfolk, she's known as the numbers girl, she talks about the hustle, basically. And she talks about having the corporate gig, being excellent at that, and also having a business and doing them both well, and not allowing one to take away from the other. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yes, you can do both. All right? So the whole idea, remember, entrepreneurs are finding ways to turn ideas and products and services into income streams. So I call them increments, right? And I look at this as a symphony, because at a musical symphony, you have many different instruments. And when you play them all at the right time, they make one beautiful sound. In your business symphony, you have increments. Increments are businesses that make money. And when you play each one at the right time, they will make for one big, fat, wealthy life, okay? One nice bank account, a nice, reserve, a great retirement fund, wealth that you can pass on to your family. So, but you got to understand you, and you have to understand the parts of you that are good for your business, the parts of you that are not so good for your business, and the parts of you that don't exist, that are required for business. All right. So in order to understand the business anatomy, you've got to understand who is in it. And you are one of the main, assets to your business. So here's the personality of an entrepreneur. Here is one of the components. One of the components, or one of the character traits, one of the personality traits, is the thinker. Okay. The thinker is the personality of the entrepreneur, who will put a plan in place to make a dream a reality. All right? So, Jeff Bezos may have said, I want to build a global store. It started out as a bookstore, I think. And now Amazon can deliver anything within a day, 24 hours, sometimes the same day. I don't get it. I remember having surgery, and I needed one of the body pieces that help you to stay tight, basically. It's like a girdle, okay? It's like a medical girdle. That's what it is. And I needed that because I've had a couple of surgeries. I've had a C-section. I've had weight loss surgery. I'll tell you about that, and so on and so forth. And I went on Amazon and found it. I remember needing some tape. It's surgical tape that will help to remove a scar or a keloid. And I had gotten some from my doctor, and I ran out and I went on Amazon, found the tape, got that the next day. You can get anything. There was a thinker who put the plan in place. There is a thinker who puts together the blueprint. There is a thinker who makes sure that what is conceptualized in the mind can actually come to reality in the real world, okay? So there's a thinker. Some of you are running businesses and you have a great idea, but you have not thought it through. And because you have not thought it through, it has not proved to be as successful as it could be, and you may be frustrated. And really what you need is someone to help you think through. You got to get rid of your ego, because someone who's going to help you think through is going to challenge everything you say. And it's going to feel like they are minimizing, attacking, or something like that, but that's not it. They are simply making sure that everything is thought through. The next person, the next part of this, the personality of this entrepreneur is a storyteller. That's the marketing. That's the one who can tell everybody, hey, this is a good thing, and get the message out there in a way that people can receive it, and in a way that people can not only receive it, but tell others about it. All right? That's the storyteller. The next part of this personality of the entrepreneur is the hunter. The hunter preys on new business opportunities without ceasing. They're always going out hunting for a way to get the product or service in the hands of other people. That's different than marketing. Marketing is saying it's wonderful. Hunting is saying you need to buy it. Can you buy it? Can we put a deal together? You need a hunter in your business. While you are learning about the anatomy of your business, and that anatomy includes an individual, and it's probably you, the entrepreneur, you need to understand the pieces of this entrepreneur, the personality type of the entrepreneur. The next part of the personality of the entrepreneur is, and this is very, very important. You've always got to remember, if you've got a thinker, if you've got someone who's going to be the storyteller, if you've got someone who's going to be the hunter, you also need, and I'm adding this, you need the calculator. You need a calculator. A calculator is going to be your financial person, your person who manages the budget, the person who balances the books, and the calculator is going to make sure you stay profitable, because we don't want to run a janky business. We've talked about that. We don't want to run a broke business. We don't want to run a janky business. We want things adding up. We want profit. We want revenue, and we want expenses and cost of goods sold to be less than that. And then we want a profit. So I'm going to keep talking about oiling your business engine. And guess what? The harvest is here, and the time is now. Hi, I'm financial expert Lynn Richardson. You may have seen me on Good Morning America, The Steve Harvey Show, or Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. Guess what? Did you know you can get your money back if you hire your kids? You can get your money back if you go out to eat. You can get your money back if you go on a vacation. Well, guess what? In my book, Get Your Money Back, Tax Deductions You Never Know About, I'm going to teach you how you can get your money back with your home-based business legally, ethically, and all with the permission of the IRS. Just go to AskLynn.org. Okay, so remember this. While we're talking about your business anatomy, oiling your business engine, and understanding the personality of an entrepreneur, I've talked about quite a few things here, and I want to just keep us on track with the bigger message. There is a personality type, and it's a hybrid. And this is the employee/business owner, okay? Now, let me explain to you the benefits of being an employee. Can anybody say health insurance? Can anybody say matching 401k dollars? Can anybody say infrastructure and order? That is one of the benefits of being an employee, because someone is going to tell you what to do, when to do it, what they are expecting, and you have to meet that or those expectations in order to get a paycheck. Sometimes entrepreneurs, we can be a little off. We only do what we want to do when we want to do it, and so on and so forth. And that's okay as long as your activity continues to drive you upward. But I will be honest, and I will say to you, entrepreneurs, people say, oh, well, you're so free, you can work whenever you want to. Yes, I can pick whichever 22 hours of the day I want to work. That's what it. Entrepreneurs, it's almost like sometimes we're working around the clock, because even when we're not working, we're working, right? Now, the flip side of that is, as an entrepreneur, sometimes I can choose not to work for a long period of time and miss either some goals or some important things that could be happening in the industry and so on. So one of the advantages of being an employee is there is order and there is infrastructure, and you do have to be there at a certain time. Now, I would say if you are an employee and there's some flexibility, then you've got a great thing. But if you're also looking to be in business while you are an employee, then you are what I call the hybrid. You're an employee / business owner. And I want to help you operate in this space with excellence. I remember there was a young lady who worked for me, and she was a hybrid. She worked at an institution and had been there for a very long time, had developed a high degree of trust amongst her peers, her coworkers, her colleagues, and her superiors. And then she was working for my business, traveling, going to award shows, helping us with talent, MC Light, Lil Mama, a fun job. And I needed some copies made of a document that I was going to pass out at an event that I was speaking at. And she made those copies at her job and brought them to me. And I asked her to never do that again. I did not want her abusing her resources at her job, where her employer has entrusted her. I did not want her taking their resources and bringing them to me. And people said, well, Lynn, wow, because you're like a small entrepreneur. That's a big business. They probably didn't even miss the paper or the ink. That's not the point. I want you to treat someone else's business the same way you would want someone to treat your business. Would you want someone to go and take your paper or your resources, your tools, your utensils, or whatever it is that you have in your business? Would you want one of your employees, taking those things someplace else for the benefit of something else outside of your organizational and corporate goals? No, you wouldn't. So don't accept it from anyone. So when you are operating as an employer and an independent contractor or / a business owner, be sure that you're doing so with integrity. But I want to share with you something that I think is extremely important. And as I said, one of my colleagues, my dear colleagues, she talks about hustle. And I want to tell you what hustle means, okay? I want you to understand, because we all understand that, there are songs, hustle, and, so on and so forth, and the movie Hustle and Flow. And sometimes it can have a negative connotation. But hustle is what we do to get from where we are to where we want to be. Even in the morning, if you've got small children, you got to hustle to get them jokers out the door, okay? Get them to school, wake up, eat your breakfast, do all those things. So what does it mean if we are going to hustle? First of all, it means wholly and unapologetically starting to seek liberation through entrepreneurship. Once again, wholly, so do it with integrity. Unapologetically, don't apologize for it. Starting, that means you must go. To seek, that means you're going to find and you're going to research. Liberation, this is freedom through entrepreneurship. So hustle, the acronym is HUSSLE. Okay, we made that up, all right? Or my colleague made that up, all right? So it's hustle, HUSSLE. Wholly and unapologetically starting to seek liberation through entrepreneurship. You are a hybrid. And, one of the things that you got to understand about this anatomy of your business and the personality of the entrepreneur and how it all works together. you are going to have to hustle to get where you're trying to go. Nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to pass it out, because at the end of the day, you are trying to be profitable, and you want to make sure your revenue exceeds your expenses, and you want to get your money back. The harvest is here, and the time is now. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Trump's campaign is beginning to vet potential running mates. Reports say the vetting process has focused on 4 possible candidates: Florida Senator Marco Rubio, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who is black, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and North Carolina Governor Doug Burgum. The Trump campaign says, quote, anyone who tells you they know who, how, or when President Trump will choose his VP is lying, end quote. The annual Juneteenth Festival in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles has been canceled. Organizers say it is due to rising costs. The celebration was scheduled to happen on June 19th. That federal holiday honors the same day in 1865 when the U.S. military freed the last group of slaves held in the Confederate state of Texas 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. The event organizers hope to bring it back next year. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
In less than 24 hours, the Lakers' search for a new head coach has taken a massive turn. NBA sources are reporting that Connecticut men's basketball coach Dan Hurley is the man the Lakers really want for the job, and that contract talks for a long-term deal are already underway. Sources claim the Lakers and Hurley have been talking since Darvin Ham was fired on May 3rd. This revelation surrounding Hurley comes after J.J. Redick was believed to be the frontrunner because of his podcast connection with LeBron. If the Lakers can convince Hurley to take the job, this will be a major development for the franchise. Hurley is coming off back-to-back national championships at UConn, where he has won 70% of his games in 6 seasons. Hurley is a big-time college coach with the kind of profile the Lakers need. Stay tuned. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and Sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse Limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
What does it take to take on Alzheimer's? Awareness that nearly 2/3 of those diagnosed are women, including Black women. Dedication to lowering your risk by eating healthy and monitoring blood pressure. And confidence to talk to your healthcare provider about screening and early detection. You have what it takes to take on Alzheimer's. Learn about signs and screening at takeonalz.com. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're on. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Welcome forward now. This is the Millionaires Roundtable here on KBLA Talk 1580, and this is Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time, and that means you. Yes, what does wealth look like? I think we can start by, you know what? You do something quite often. When I go into my thing and I say, well, you say, don't say what you don't want. You say
you want.
What you want. Okay, so we're not going to talk about what wealth doesn't look like. We're going to talk about what it does look like. What does wealth look like in the music business? You talked about how, so many have said, and I wasn't in the entertainment business when music was really the dominant force of income for musicians and artists. I came in after everything had been Spotify and iTunes owned into digital oblivion. People were no longer buying records when I came into the entertainment industry. But what does wealth look like for the music business?
Well, that's an interesting question because what things look like aren't always what they are. So immediately when you asked that question, I thought of what is a visual of what that looks like. But more importantly, we're really talking about what that is. And that's being in perfect peace. That's being okay with who you are and where you are in your life and how it is that you treat other people, and it's your integrity and your ethics that are in place as to how you deal with business and those who work for you and work with you. It's how you handle communication with people you don't know just as much as it is for people that you do know. It's all around just taking care. And so the picture of perfect wealth has so many layers to it.
Yeah, I didn't say perfect, but I just said, well, what does wealth look like in the music business? How can somebody be in the music business today or enter the music business and make money?
Well,
or I shouldn't say make money, because I said what is wealth. Money is only a piece of it.
Right.
But we know that money is the engine that kind of fuels the ability to expand and grow. Do you need any money to produce a record? You don't need any money to do that nowadays, do you?
Well, yeah, you need money to produce a record. And if you are able to get a record done without money, then you're going to owe somebody.
Got it.
So, yeah, you can find a studio, you can find a producer that will work with you for no money. But then in the end, if money hasn't been exchanged, they're expecting something.
Yeah, or maybe they own everything.
Right.
And you're just on there, which is what happened. So many people, I imagine, we talked about just because you see somebody on stage doesn't mean they're wealthy. Right. Just because you hear their voice on a song certainly doesn't mean they're wealthy. Right. I thought everybody I heard, I was like, oh.
Oh, but guess what? They also lie now. So when they're on the record telling you that they have money, that doesn't even make it necessarily true.
Ooh, you preaching now.
Yeah. So, and all of the goods that they may have, it may all be false.
Give us some examples.
I mean, I've seen people in a cypher, 13, 14-year-olds talking about they got a Bentley and they got, this, that, and the third. And it's like, you don't even drive. You don't have a license. You don't have a driver's license. So you have a car without a driver's license, but you just said you was rolling through to whatever you was, it's all make-believe. So you brought up an interesting point that just because you hear someone's voice on a record doesn't mean that they're pulling in money. But moreover, even when you hear them say they're pulling in money, it doesn't mean that it's true.
So when we talk about all of the problems, to me, and I'm just going to say this for me, it feels like it's a setup to be unhealthy. It feels like it's a setup to be confused. Because if you're supposed to wear clothes that make you look like you're wealthy and go on stage and have people believing that you're wealthy and say words and songs or whatever it is that you're doing to pretend that you're wealthy, but you're really not, that is make-believe. And we start
it's
telling...
Trickery. It is what entertainment and show business is all about.
It is trickery.
Yes, you're putting on a costume.
Ooh.
You're putting on a costume because people who don't have anything, they want to see people who do.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you cannot go out in the world and lie to the world and then be wealthy after doing that. Man, the harvest is here. The time is now. we got to figure out what this thing is.
Hi, I'm financial expert Lynn Richardson. You may have seen me on Good Morning America, The Steve Harvey Show, or Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. Guess what? Did you know you can get your money back if you hire your kids? You can get your money back if you go out to eat. You can get your money back if you go on a vacation. Well, guess what? In my book, Get Your Money Back, Tax Deductions You Never Know About, I'm going to teach you how you can get your money back with your home-based business legally, ethically, and all with the permission of the IRS. Just go to AskLynn.org.
What does wealth look like? I think it looks like peace. I think it looks like harmony. I think it looks like joy. I think it looks like abundance. I think it looks like good relationships. I think it looks like good energy. I think it looks like an emergency fund, and not just an emergency fund bank account, but an emergency fund energy. I think it looks like rest. I think it looks like happiness. I think it looks like family reunions. I think it looks like good times, good people, and just an all-out belief and or goal to love and to live and to help others. I think that's what wealth is.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And everything on that list, I'm going to have to listen to this myself again and write it all down, and then write some examples of each one of those things in my own life. And I'm encouraging others to do the same. Peace. Do you have it? If so, write it down. If you don't, then there's what you gotta fix that. But where don't you have peace? In this relationship, or in this job, or in this marriage, or whatever it is. I had a very interesting conversation recently, and I'm an ordained minister, and I'm the pastor of stewardship at California Worship Center, where Warren Campbell is our senior pastor and Erica Campbell is our first lady. And I said to them when they asked me to take the position, I was like, I am not church material. Like, come on now. Y'all better get somebody who's going to stand up there and say what they supposed to say, because I'm not. And they said, no, you exactly what we need. And okay, all right, because I'm going to tell you right now, and I've been saying this, I don't believe in keeping unhappy marriages together. If it's toxic, dangerous, emotionally depleting, get out of there. It's okay. So we kind of had a conversation and talked about it. I said, everybody else is running around putting together weddings. I'm going to put together divorces.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, because y'all don't need to be together. Because that is not what wealth looks like. You're angry. You don't speak to each other. You're fighting. You're cursing each other out. The children aren't happy. There is no money. Everybody's blaming everybody. Nobody's growing. Get up out of that thing. Y'all better stop believing everything, what God has put together, no man can put asunder. God may not have put that together. And even if he did, somewhere along the way, perhaps things began to fall apart. But I think wealth is breaking the rules. That's what I think wealth is. And I think what the world has given us is a template that doesn't work. You just said it, is trickery. And so whether it's the entertainment business light, what about, why does the music industry get such a bad rap? What about the acting business, TV and film?
It's so funny, that came up during our conversation. And what was said is that's really the Me Too circumstance.
Okay.
So, and how that came about is because of all of what goes on in Hollywood, which, many refer to as the casting couch, and what it is that people are willing to put another person through because they know they want this dream that they have so badly. So yeah, it happens in all mediums.
Yeah, well, you know what? The harvest is here. The time is now. It is still your season to win.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Get ready to play. Join the LA84 Foundation Saturday, June 29th for a free Playday block party at 2141 West Adams Boulevard with sports, games, and fun for all ages. With live music, amazing local food, and the spirit of LA's 1984 Summer Olympics celebrating 40 years of impact of the LA84 Foundation. June 29th at LA84's campus in West Adams from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Register at la84.org. See you at Playday.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You could earn one for free in as few as 5 months, online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach, plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Have you been a victim of discrimination at a private business, by a landlord while seeking housing, by an employer, or by an academic institution? If so, the LA Civil Rights Department may be able to help. Please contact us at cre@lacity.org or call 213-978-1845. Again, 213-978-1845 or visit laisforeveryone.com.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome forward now. This is the Millionaires Roundtable here on KBLA Talk 1580, and this is Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time, and that means you. Okay, the harvest is here. The time is now. We've been talking about oiling the business engine, the personality of an entrepreneur, and also the business anatomy. And all of these things work together for your good. The Bible says all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Well, let me tell you something. All these pieces work together in your business to make your business prosper and grow. So let me just say a couple of more things about the home office. If you want the home office deduction, that space must be used exclusively for business. You cannot use your home office as a business Monday through Friday and a place to sleep for your guests on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, on the weekends, whatever, Christmas, holiday. Your mother-in-law comes over. She can't sleep in there. If she does, it's no longer a home office. You do not get the deduction, okay? You do not get the deduction for that portion of your rent, mortgage, thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? So it is exclusively for business. Take a picture of everything in your home office. So if you are ever asked any questions by the IRS, if you have to document anything, you've got proof of what's in there. Have a sign talking about your business. Make sure you've got some marketing material for your business in there. In my home office, and I have 3 of them, I have 3 home offices in my home. One is an administrative office. Another is a studio where I record everything, video, audio, whatever it is. And a third space is where I take meetings and I have important business discussions, or if someone comes to my home for a business meeting, or I'm meeting with a network executive, that's where I do that, okay? So I want you to remember that this space must be used exclusively for business. Business trips. If you're taking a business trip, because what? You want to get your money back. You want to get your money back, okay? Trust me. The amount of work that it takes to learn how to get your money back is nothing compared to the feeling that you have when you get to pay less money, all with the permission of the IRS. This is with the permission. It's with the permission of the IRS, okay? A business trip, you must intend to do business before you go. You cannot take a vacation, go to a reunion, or go and see your boo or your baby or your whatever. You cannot turn that into a business trip after you arrive or when you return home. You must set your intention prior to leaving. I would say even before you book the airline ticket or your hotel or whatever it is, or get in the car and drive, send an email to someone indicating that you are coming to do business, okay? And actually do business when you get there. Sometimes it's easy if you're going to a convention or conference, but if you're going to a convention or a conference, you must spend more than half your time doing that thing. But if you go to scout out a new building, or if you go to check out a referral partner or have a meeting with a client, you don't have to spend more than half your time. So those are some of the things you get to learn at New Wealth University. The harvest is here and the time is now. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind